Shots are fired during an Easter Sunday brunch brawl.
Israeli politics get ready for the long haul in the Denton City Council chamber.
And one Super Bowl receiver is crushing his way through the Lone Star State.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us at ntTV News at Noon. I'm Meredith Billings.
And I'm Chris Cordova.
An Easter lunch turned out deadly this Sunday after a man fired shots into a Tennessee restaurant. Police say it began with a fight between two men outside Roasted, a busy brunch spot in Salem Town. One went inside and the other followed shortly with his pistol, killing the person he had been arguing with and hitting 5 others. The other families inside were able to run out and escape unharmed. No one else was critically injured.
Pope Francis weighed in on the conflict in Gaza during Easter Mass yesterday. CNN's Christopher Lamb tells us what the head of the Catholic Church had to say.
Following concerns about his health, Pope Francis has presided at Easter Sunday Mass and given his Easter Sunday message from St. Peter's in the Vatican. Francis has been battling bouts of ill health recently and on Good Friday pulled out of a service in order to what the Vatican said was to preserve his health. On the Easter Sunday message, Pope Francis addressed various conflicts going on in the world and reiterated his call for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Here's what he had to say.
I appeal once again that access to humanitarian aid be ensured to Gaza and call once more for the prompt release of the hostages seized on the 7th of October and for an immediate ceasefire in the Strip.
During Holy Week and in the run-up to Easter, Pope Francis presided at 5 major liturgies. On Thursday, he went to a female prison in Rome and washed the feet of 12 women prisoners. On the Saturday before Easter, he celebrated the Easter Vigil, a service of more than 2 hours long. Following the Mass on Easter Sunday, he toured St. Peter's Square on his Pope-mobile, greeting the pilgrims who had gathered, many thousands who were there, and seemed in good spirits. Pope Francis is 87 years old, and despite his age and his health, has insisted that he will continue in the post of Pope and is refusing to consider resignation. Christopher Lamb, CNN.
This weekend gave me some whiplash, Chris. Saturday I was warm and it was sunny, and Sunday I was a little chilly.
I love the cool weather for Easter, but today it was just so humid. Austin, can we expect this muggy weather to last?
Chris, let me tell you something right now. This day is going to be a bit weird, but a bit cool as well, because today we're not going to see that sunny sky at all. We're going to be seeing some cloudy skies today with the temperature of 74, feeling like 74, and we got that wind speed coming in from the south at 13 miles per hour. Let's see how tonight is going to be looking as well, because something special is happening. It's going to be rain tonight as well. And the weather is going to be dropping, but it'll be coming at 70 degrees as well, feeling like 71, but the wind speed is going to be lowered from the south at 9 miles per hour. Now let's see what tomorrow, if that's going to be totally different. And it is going to be different because that sunny sky is coming right back as well. You'll be feeling like 59 degrees, a little bit of a temperature drop, feeling like 56, but we are going to get that wind speed from 18 miles per hour coming in from the northwest. And that is all I got right now for the weather. I'm going to bring it back to you guys.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is fighting to keep his position after a motion was made for his removal. He spoke to Congressman Matt Gaetz for advice, who told him he had his support but urged him to refocus on conservative policies. The motion to vacate was called by Republican Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene last week after Johnson introduced a controversial bipartisan spending deal to the House floor. Johnson will be under close scrutiny during the next controversial policy where $95 billion could be given to aid Ukraine during its war with Russia. Many conservatives, including Gaetz, are not in support of the proposal. So far, Greene has not initiated a vote to remove Johnson. His supporters say if she does, not many will back her up. The two representatives are planning to meet sometime this week.
Convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh is facing his third round of sentencing today by federal prosecutors. He pled guilty to 22 financial crimes involving him stealing millions of dollars from his clients and law firm. He claims he needed to finance his crippling opioid addiction. Murdaugh is currently serving a 27-year sentence for other financial crimes, and he's already received 2 life sentences for the murder of his wife and son.
Sentencing likely won't immediately impact the current situation of the one-time heir to a low-country legal dynasty, who theft and death seem to follow.
I sentence you for the term of the rest of your natural life.
Already serving 2 consecutive life
is now
sentences.
what it takes to buy a house in almost half of the United States. A Bankrate.com analysis found that in 22 states, an income of over $100,000 is needed for buyers to comfortably afford an averagely priced home. Affordability was based off the ability to make mortgage payments, given a 20% down payment and a 30-year fixed rate. This analysis did not include other real estate costs, like maintenance and closing costs. California, D.C., Hawaii, Massachusetts, and Washington state require the highest incomes, while houses in Arkansas, Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana are the most affordable.
Up next, Israeli soldiers kill hundreds in Gaza, but Israeli youth say it's not enough.
And country music is getting a hoedown throwdown from Queen Bee. Stay with us.
All right, look up here. 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Hasbell and I'm joining you here today in the Union Parking Garage. Today we're going to be going over how to drive safely in the parking garage. Let's go see. Oh my god! Oh my god! This girl just got hit by a car. Let's go see what happened. Ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay?
Did you see that lady hit me with a car?
Yeah, we did. I got it all on video.
Oh my god.
Let's go over here and talk about how we can prevent that.
Yeah, not the hospital.
Well, right now we're going to ask you a couple questions on how we can drive safely in the parking lot. What are ways that we can be aware of our surroundings?
Oh, we can look both ways.
Jenna, also, how about putting the distractions away?
Yes, just like our phones, turning our music down, and also not focusing on our passengers.
Where can you get information on how to get a parking pass?
Transportation.unt.edu.
If you park in a garage, make sure you pay on the app or look for further instructions on how you should pay.
And remember, no pass, no park. Let's all try to keep our mean green community safe.
Remember, we're all in this together.
Drive safe.
More casualties in Palestine today as 300 bodies were found at the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza following the withdrawal of Israeli troops. Gaza's civil defense says Israeli forces buried the bodies around the medical facility and bulldozed nearby roads. Israel says the operation was an anti-terror mission. They claim the IDF did its best to avoid civilian casualties. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said at least 200 militants were killed in the attack. Due to a lack of reporting access to the Gaza Strip, the death toll remains unverified.
Israeli protesters demanding the removal of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gathered for the second day in a row outside of Israel's parliament, known as Knesset. They are asking him to resign and calling for an early election, blaming him for failing to bring home hostages in Gaza. Leading the protest is Nadav Salzberger from a movement called Change Generation.
First of all, I want to start by mentioning the 134 hostages still held captive in Gaza, including women, elderly, and children. We are fighting and praying for their immediate release. We are a movement called the Change Generation. After October 7th, we realized that Netanyahu and his coalition have no intent of taking responsibility over the worst disaster in Israel's history. So we have taken to the streets and we formed a young movement comprised of young Israelis, reservists, and students with the goal of replacing the current government with a responsible government, one deserving of the Israeli people. That is our goal. I think that Netanyahu has prioritized the survival, his own political survival, and the survival of his coalition. I think that while many people, including politicians, are doing their best to try and bring back the hostages, it simply isn't enough. I think that we, as the young generation who grew up under Netanyahu, have witnessed rotten leadership, and it's time for us to step up and demand better leadership for all Israelis.
The protesters plan to stay until the Israeli parliament begins its spring recess on Wednesday. Netanyahu rejected the idea of an early election, saying Hamas would be the only one to benefit from it.
The war in Israel has been stirring up political tensions all over the U.S. The passion behind the issue has sparked political action from people across the country. I spoke to a group of Denton activists who are looking to make a change, starting with the Denton City Council. As the conflict in Israel rages on, a local group is looking to take a stand, starting from the ground up.
Tonight, I return, as promised, to urge the council to adopt a ceasefire resolution.
Members of Free Palestine Denton have been meeting right here at City Hall for weeks to sit in and speak at the Denton City Council meetings. Their demands: adopt a resolution calling for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas.
There's a lot of different goals, but the main goal is to bring attention to what's happening in Palestine and demand that our leaders do something about it.
If you visit Free Palestine Denton at a city council meeting, you'll likely get one of these, a pamphlet that explains all of their positions as well as their demands for the Denton City Council.
I am disgusted that I have to frame it as a local issue for you to care.
The council has largely ignored members of Free Palestine Denton, except for Councilman Paul Meltzer. In a post to Facebook, he said a ceasefire resolution would be beyond his role as a member of City Council.
I will make it my personal mission to organize in Denton and ensure that not a single vote goes to any of you who decide this is not a cause worth standing up for.
Free Palestine Denton believes that if enough cities pass ceasefire resolutions, the Biden administration could be pressured into withholding funds to Israel.
A lot of us don't feel like we have much power, and we have to do just the little things that we can do. And speaking to city council or meeting with other Palestinian Americans and Palestinians is really important.
In the meantime, they hope everyone will
keep all eyes on Palestine.
Free Palestine Denton is holding a silent protest at Denton City Hall tomorrow, as well as a march at the square coming up on April 14th. April Fool's is the perfect excuse for me to wear this jacket, but I'm glad I don't have to wear it outside the studio because polyester and humidity don't really mix.
I definitely need to get myself one so that we can match, but not until the humidity dies down. Austin, tell us, what are we looking at this week?
You want the weather, Denton? I'm going to deliver you the weather. This is going to be what the degrees are going to be looking at right now. Over here on the west side, we are seeing a lot of 69-degree temperatures out here. Our beautiful, lovely county, town Denton is what is going to be 71 degrees as well. Over here in Sulphur Springs, it's going to be 70 and 70 up here in Paris as well. Everywhere else, these are temperatures you do not want to sleep on. Don't rest on these temperatures. You go outside, you do something right now. But let's take a look and see how Texas is going to be fully doing as well. Everywhere else is going to be looking just as well. El Paso, Amarillo, I think it was in the 30s last time. Step up from now. But everything else is going to be perfect as well, hitting in the 70s as well. And let's take a look and see how that week is going to be as well. All right, the week right now is going to be from Tuesday through Friday is going to be in the 60s and 70s as well. That's going to be a beautiful temperature right now in that sunny sky. And the rain percentage is just going to be lower as well. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Guys, I promise you Monday, that's not a black hole. That is going to be the eclipse that's going to be happening. With a 58% chance of rain on Monday. Sunday as well is going to be looking a little bit rainy as well. Saturday, probably not likely to happen. Just cloudy skies as well for that. And for me, that's all I have today for the weather. I'm gonna bring it back right over to you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Austin. Beyonce is shaking up the music scene with her new country album. ntTV's Julia Ham tells us how well that album's doing.
Thanks, guys. Now, T Swift showed us that an artist can go from country to pop, and now an even bigger name is doing the opposite. Beyonce is breaking records with her new album titled Cowboy Carter. It is the most streamed album in a single day so far this year, and has the most first-day streams for a country album by a female artist in the history of Amazon Music. The 27-track album features a long list of star-studded collaborators, including Miley Cyrus, Post Malone, Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, and more. It can be found on every streaming platform, so if you're a country fan or just a fan of Beyonce herself, make sure to check out Cowboy Carter. And the second best space franchise might finally be coming to an end. Alongside 13 movies and 12 television shows, Star Trek's newest addition to the franchise, Star Trek Discovery, suddenly announced that this will be its last season. The cast and crew of this Paramount Plus series had no idea it would be concluding with season 5, but they were allowed to go back and film a proper finale. The final season begins streaming on Paramount Plus on April 4th, with the final episode airing May 30th. Now, I'm more of a Star Wars fan, but regardless, I will be tuning in to see the end of this epic series. And that's all I have for y'all today. Let's take it back to the desk.
Thank you. Next, UNT is making sure students know how to plan their finances.
But can I plan myself out of my student debt? Hopefully our live shot reporter has the details on that after the break. Stay with us.
The do's and don'ts of the Pole Rec Center. See that man over there? Please do not hog weights. Instead, do this. Another important part is having an attentive spotter. See, here is an example of a non-attentive spotter. Instead, do this. Now we head to the track, which should be pretty easy, just it's important to pay attention to the way the track goes. Remember to wipe down the equipment after you're done using it. The towels are provided by the gym, so it's pretty easy to wipe down the equipment when you are done. Thank you for using the Pole Recreation Center.
There's no harm in wanting to have fun while in college, but it's easy to lose track of how much you've had. Apps like Drink Control and Alkadroid can help keep track of your consumption and blood alcohol levels. If you or someone else does drink too much, the signs of alcohol poisoning are as follows: pale skin, vomiting, confusion, low body temperatures, irregular breathing, blacking out, and is hard to wake up or cannot be woken up.
Dude, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Wake up.
It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to be responsible. If you suspect someone is suffering from alcohol poisoning, get help immediately. You will not get in trouble for seeking help if you are underage. For more info and resources, go to UNT's Division of Student Affairs.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
No matter how hard I try, I always forget to put a little bit of my paycheck into savings.
I always spend all my money on my favorite foods, gummy bears and Cheez-Its. Alejandra, can you help us figure out our finances?
Thanks, guys. I am at InvestFest, where you can learn more about investing and personal finances. You could also learn more about UNT's new bachelor's degree in financial planning. Now, I am also here with keynote speaker David Washira, who was a UNT alumni, co-founder, and CEO of WAYA. Now, David, why do you think it is important for students to start caring about their finances now?
Well, it's very important to start caring about your finances at a very young age. One, it helps you be more risk tolerant. One, you also plan and invest for the future. So the earlier you can start caring about your finances, the better it is for your financial future.
Awesome. So you heard it here first. Better start caring about your financial plans now. And you can also stop by here at the Union until 3:30 to get some free snacks and some free lunch. Thank you so much, guys. Back to you guys in the studio.
This Easter Sunday, a Colorado transplant surgeon remembers a friend still dear to his heart after a tragedy that happened 15 years ago. CNN's reporter Rachel Krause tells us the impact one person had that snowballed to impact so many others.
Over at Advent Health Porter, the operating room has become a second home for transplant surgeon Hunter Moore.
Oh yeah, it's a great job.
It's a path he's been on for more than a decade, set in motion while working as a ski patroller in Steamboat Springs with his friend Cody St. John.
Cody was a really special person. He's one of those people that you meet every once in your life that you're like, I wish I could be you. Just good at everything he did. He was a really smart guy, a really funny guy, in amazing shape, just like a superhuman.
He had everyone's respect. He knew his limitations, but he also was super humble and incredibly driven to do the best he could, and it showed.
Friend and fellow ski patroller Kyle Lawton remembers Cody as a good person and a great ski patroller, ready to start on a new career.
When he had his accident, when he was going up to Laramie to get his start his nursing classes, it caught us all off guard.
Cody was in a crash with a logging truck. On Easter Sunday, 17 years ago, Cody died.
He just was going to be a superstar, and it was really sad that he didn't get to do what he's going to do to society, but he was going to be something really special.
His organs were donated, his death giving others a chance at life, and with it, changing Moore's career path.
Going through that process of seeing some tragedy turn into something that really changed people's lives was a big motivator for me to say, hey, it was an eye-opening experience that transplant's a really powerful thing.
Years later, a chance encounter with a patient cemented that path.
Well, it was really kind of serendipitous. He had a heart transplant, and I was like, oh, how long have you had a heart transplant for? He's like, oh, it's been about 5 years. And I was like, like what time of the year? And everything kind of worked out, and I was like, by chance, do you know who your donor was? And he's like, yeah, it was Cody. It was almost like I was like talking to my friend again in a crazy, weird way.
Over the years, friends and family have kept Cody's memory alive. Every year, around Easter, they hold a ski race in Steamboat Springs called Cody's Challenge, raising money to help other ski patrollers advance their medical training.
A lot of these younger, motivated individuals are seeing that they want to go on to paramedic school or RN programs, PA, or docs.
It does. It totally does. It's nice to have something that's positive around the time of his death.
Cody's memory helping guide future medical professionals forward, just as it did with Moore.
I just feel like I kind of have Cody on my shoulder. Every day I'm kind of at work.
They're with him in the operating room as he helps give others a chance at life.
It's a really powerful thing.
What a great message. New guidance from the Department of Health and Human Services could change the way you get exams. Under the new rules, hospitals must get signed consent from the patient to perform tests on sensitive areas of the body. According to the department, the new regulation was meant to clarify requirements for people enrolled in Medicare and Medicaid. I hear a Duncanville High School is breaking athletic records. Jay, what can we expect in the sports news?
Plenty of big performances by DFW teams, and a former SMU player and Super Bowl champion may be in some legal trouble. Stay glued to your screens for sports on North Texas Television. Oh, no, it's in the deep.
Hey Alex, this guy on the internet says he wants to give me money.
That sounds suspicious.
What do you mean?
Typically, strangers who promise you money on the internet have their own best interest in mind. They often use bounced checks, which will disappear shortly after depositing, but not before they've asked for some money in return.
So he doesn't really want to spoil me?
No.
Well, then what should I do?
The best way to handle it is to block and report the suspicious message, or even consult local law enforcement if you've already fallen victim.
So I guess we aren't going to Key West for spring break.
No.
Former SMU receiver and Chiefs rookie Rashee Rice is suspected to be involved in a car crash that happened Saturday in Dallas. Around 6 p.m., police were called to a crash scene. Dash cam footage reveals a Lamborghini and a Corvette were both racing when drivers lost control and caused a 6-car crash. 2 people were sent to the hospital. Both drivers fled the scene before police arrived. 1 car is believed to be registered in Rice's name. This is still an ongoing investigation. But talking about Texas speed in a safer manner, the Texas relays were this past weekend, and they did not disappoint. Duncanville has come out this season blazing as they dropped a 39.73 in the 4x1 relay, which is the 3rd fastest time in high school history, behind only the race they ran last week, where they ran a 39.65 and came in 2nd place. They weren't the only team to break a record, as the Flower Mound girls set a national record in the 4x8 relay with a time of 8 minutes and 46 seconds. This ranks 1st for high schoolers and 4th in U.S. history. Moving to the diamond, the Rangers suffered their first defeat of the season in the final game of their series against the Cubs, 9-5. Heading into the 9th inning tied at 5, Jose Leclerc gave up 4 runs in the 9th. Notable performances in this game include a 2-hit, 3 RBI day from Marcus Semien and a 4-hit day by Cubs DH Ian Happ. They'll head to Tampa to play the Rays at 5:30 this afternoon. From one team opening their season to another team closing their season, the Mavs won their 7th game in a row against the Rockets, ending the Rockets' 11th game win streak. Luka and Kyrie combined for 71 points as they easily grounded the young Houston Surge. Dallas improves to 45-29 on the year, and they are in a tight 5th-seeded battle with the Pelicans, and they're 2 games behind the Clippers with 8 games left in the regular season. Staying on the court, the last basketball team still playing in Denton wrapped up their season Friday in the Division II National Championship. The TWU Pioneers lost to Minnesota State Mankato 73-89. Although they came up short, this was nothing but a dream season. These ladies, including forwards Scout Huffman and Ashley Ingram, claimed all tournament honors. Plus, as a team, they set a record in wins, points scored, assists, and shots made. Way to go, ladies. That's all for sports. I'm Jay Lathan. Back to you at the desk. Hola.
Hello.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.